Facilitators for today's event. On behalf of the 96th Test Wing and the Air Force Sergeants Association, we would like to welcome you to the Catalyst of Growth Summit, also known as COGS.
We would like to welcome our distinguished guest, Commander, 96th Test Wing, Brigadier General Jeffrey Geraghty. The Command Chief, 96th Test Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Matthew P.
We would also like to extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, supervisors, and all of Team Eglin and surrounding community partners. We are beyond pleased that so many of you would be with us today to participate in today's event. We would like to extend our gratitude and highlight that you being here today brings us the greatest joy and the feeling of support and affirmation that we needed to bring you this message. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to also acknowledge and thank our event sponsors. Air Force Sergeant Association, Chapter 554, Mr. Trey McGuire from the Every Warrior Network, the Eglin Sponsors Club, and First Command. Let's give them a round of applause.
Without your support, today would not be possible. Thank you to our venue host, Mr. Eric Dale, for such an amazing venue and a stage that we are honored to be on.
The mission for today's event is to deliver a day filled with life and leadership lessons from inspirational speakers who are passionate about investing their time in your growth and development. Today is not just a check in a box type of event. This effort trying to capture the essence of connection and resilience. Today's goal is to deliver actionable growth messages while covering topics from the Air Force's spectrum of resilience.
Connection is driven by a need to belong or connect with people. This is ingrained in our history from birth to nurture and as adults to flourish in tribes. Resilience is defined by the Oxford Dictionary as the capacity to quickly recover from difficulties and the ability to bounce back.
Throughout our agenda for this event, we will get to hear from 6 dynamic speakers that will pique your curiosity and ignite your ability to lead yourself from within and be the catalyst to light up those around you. Our event has been designed to be experienced and appreciated through its entirety as the speaker lineup complements one another to lead us into the future.
Each speech is approximately 40 minutes with an additional 10 minutes for questions and answers. Please text your questions to the number on the screen if the QR code is not working.
Out of respect for the speakers today, we ask that you limit distractions and use breaks wisely. This event will be interactive and you will receive various cues. During breaks and intermission, we also offer suggested discussion topics. In those moments, we ask you that you take the opportunity to meet someone new and expand your circle and gain a new perspective. Take the time to connect and collaborate.
If at any point in today's event you feel emotionally overwhelmed or are triggered by shared events, please feel free to step out to process your current experience. Find a moment to recover or take a moment to seek assistance in a fellow wingman. In the lobby, we have Team Eglin helping agencies available to support. Additionally, our chaplains are available to speak at 850-882-2111. Please visit the open booths during lunchtime and after the conclusion of our speaker presentations.
And now, coming to the stage for some opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Brigadier General Geraghty!
Thank you, team. Wow, this thing works nicely, doesn't it? Yeah. Great to see you. Welcome back. I really love this event. Are you guys going to stand here on my flanks the whole time? Yes? Okay. Just want to make sure. Good. I really look forward to this event. Since we had it last year, that was the first time I had seen it, but so professionally done. This is like a TED Talk type of situation. I got my Britney Spears device on my head here. I'm outside of my comfort zone. I might have to borrow one of those podiums here for a minute. I don't have everything memorized that I'm going to say. Some of this stuff I'm going to have to read out of my pocket, but really appreciate everything that this team puts on. Like you guys already said, thanks to our hosts. Thanks to the team who really put the energy into getting this event put together. So I want to call out some names, and hopefully they're out here and we can recognize them, but I want to recognize everybody too. So let's start with Master Sergeant Carolyn Phillips. Are you out there? in the crowd or hiding somewhere in the wings. Let's
She's
hear it
running
for
on in.
Kim.
Come on down.
All right. Welcome back. She came back to us after getting this thing kick-started from Langley, or she got it kick-started here and then had a PCS, but we brought her back to help finish this thing out. So very thankful for you, proud of you. Thank you. And then some more of the team leaders. Nikki Partaz, are you out there? Nikki, there's Nikki. Let's say thanks to Nikki. Well done. Senior Math Sergeant Sandra Reyes. She came into the Team Eglin staff meeting a couple of days ago, literally with pom-poms to hype this up. That was awesome. And then everybody, you can see them wearing these shirts, these very professional looking shirts. So everybody who had a part in helping put this together, those of you who are wearing the shirts, or those of you who aren't wearing the shirts but help put this together, please stand up so we can recognize you too and say thank you. Thank you. Really amazing. So who was here last year? Well, it was at the Mattie Kelly Center last year, but who was part of that event last year? By show of hands. Very few, very few. And is this online too? This is beamed online right now? Okay. And I understand last year there were like 1,000 people beamed into it online as well, and maybe 400 people in the Mattie Kelly Center, something like this. And this was just a catalyst to start to get us reconnected and to start to grow together as a team. And this is what I love about this event, is how much this investment of this team's time and your time to come listen and participate in these events, how much it helps us grow as individuals and grow together as a team. It really is a catalyst in the sense, in the biological sense. The catalyst is that thing that helps speed up those connections that have to happen for us to be our most effective selves. And so last year, there were only 3 or 4 hands up as to who was here last year. But last year, I also had the opening remarks, and I shared something there that I hadn't shared publicly before. I had only told a couple of close friends. They helped me decide it was the right time to share that story. I won't share it again. Many of you have heard. I'll just give a follow-up really quick. I'll tell you what it was. And I struggled to tell it at the time, but the support from this crowd and the support from my teammates and my wingmen, my chiefs, my fellow group commanders, everybody in the audience helped me get through what I was going through. And what I shared back then was my brother's attempted suicide. It had fairly recently happened. We still weren't sure he was going to survive. So I shared that story, and the encouragement, I could palpably feel it from the crowd. Helped me just get through telling that story. Well, here's the follow-up. He's doing great. My brother is doing great. Yeah. It's amazing to see. I mean, it's almost mind-blowing. It's unbelievable what a different place he's in right now compared to where he was and what he was going through back then. And I also learned through that experience the importance of just sharing that with other people, the importance of reaching out. When you're in a storm, you can do one of 2 things. You can either check out or you can reach out. And there are a lot of ways to check out. You can check out with drugs or alcohol or isolating yourself or so many different ways. And of course, the worst and most final way you can check out is suicide. And my brother was in such a dark place, he had chosen to do that. But the other option is to reach out and to recognize that those feelings that you're feeling inside of you, that dark cloud, sometimes things are really bad, but there are sunny skies out there too. And so just recognizing that. So that's just a quick follow-up, and that's really all I have on that story. What I want to do to dive into the main event is to just give you a quick introduction to who the upcoming speakers are going to be, and then I'll share a little bit more about my take on this theme, which is resilient leadership. That's the theme that the team has put together. And resilient leadership is something we all need, every single one of us. You are all leaders in this room in one way or another, and we all need to be resilient because we're all going to find ourselves in some kind of a storm cloud at some point, every single one of us, guaranteed. And we're going to need other people. We're going to need to reach out to other people who aren't in that storm cloud with us, who can see the sunny skies, who can help us get out of that stormy cloud. So let me give you an introduction to who some of these upcoming speakers are going to be. You see them there in your program, but this is really a first-class group of speakers. I got to catch up with our first speaker just before I came out here, the first ever Chief Master Sergeant of the Space Force, Chief Roger Tauberman. Let's hear it for Chief. So he's going to discuss the experience of initiating the Space Force, which involved navigating uncharted territory and the importance of being a resilient leader during that journey. Fantastic guy. I met him when he was on active duty, still as the chief of the Space Force, and he came and visited us at Eglin. It's good to see him in his retired state as well. His hair's a little bit longer. He looks a little bit more relaxed, but great to catch up with him as well. We also have Eric Harris, who's number 35 on the San Francisco 49ers football team, and he's going to talk about purpose, persistence, and peace. We have Senior Master Sergeant Brayson Robinson, owner of Brayson J. Robinson Training and Development. He'll be speaking about how leadership is an action, not a position, and on what it means to lead from the center. Barbara Britt is a motivational speaker and a culture strategist, and she's going to walk everyone through an activity to help you understand your personal needs and how to use those needs to reach your own goals. And then Chief Master Sergeant retired Jason Barnshaw will use an interactive way to remind us to stop overthinking leadership and relationships, and just note how the simplest of actions can have a massive impact on others. And then finally, Chief Master Sergeant Joshua Lackey, the command chief of the Barnes Center for Enlisted Education, will be talking about perseverance, grit, perspective, and personal education. And of course, our own Chief Pease is going to close the thing out. So what an amazing lineup of speakers you have ahead of you. Yeah, and like I mentioned, today's theme is resilient leadership. And a resilient leader is somebody who demonstrates the ability to navigate through challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties while maintaining composure, adaptability, and a positive outlook. Resilient leaders are adept at managing their own emotions and reactions, we all have them, in difficult situations, while also providing support and guidance to their team members. They inspire confidence, foster a culture of resilience within their organization, and can lead effectively even in times of crisis. Resilient leaders are flexible, resourceful, and able to learn from setbacks, using them as opportunities for growth and improvement. I would like to be able to do all of that. How about you? Good. Because resilient leadership is no longer a luxury. With the pace of technological change, with everything that's coming at us from so many different angles today, it's a necessity. It's not a luxury, especially in this line of work, especially as we get prepared for great power competition. So by developing your own personal resilience and fostering it in yourselves and your team, you'll be able to navigate these challenges, overcome setbacks, and ultimately achieve success, however you define it. So resilient leadership. Some of you have seen, some of you follow what I post on LinkedIn. I post a lot of eclectic mix of stuff on LinkedIn. And a lot of it is really centered on this theme of resilient leadership. And what I've been thinking about lately, one of the things that I call it is mind piloting. And that's the idea of how do we use this mind that we have to pilot our own brains and bodies through these various circumstances that we encounter, some of which are challenging, some of which are really tough, some are frustrating, some can be exhilarating, some can be terrifying. How do we get better at being mind pilots, piloting our own minds and bodies through that? And I have kind of a flight plan that I've come up with in my mind. They're really, really basic stuff. When you go through pilot training, you learn a lot of acronyms that'll just help you remember checklist steps, or what are the basic things before you take off that you really have to fundamentally pay attention to more than anything else, or you're going to get in real trouble. And my flight plan for mind piloting, the acronym I use is Team Essence. And that is simply pay attention to your time. How are you spending your time? Your energy, your attitude, your movement. Or that M has a few more M's. It could be your money. It could be your meaning, what's meaningful to you. Pay attention to those things. Time, energy, attitude, meaning, money, movement. And then essence is really the foundation of how you can pilot towards those sunny skies instead of find yourself in a storm cloud. So essence is eat well, sleep well, socialize, and exercise. And then the NCE part has, I've probably got 100 different things you can do with NCE, but one of them is nurture creativity and excellence. So Team Essence, that's the basic flight plan for how to find yourselves flying through sunny skies in life. And guess what? You're not always going to be in sunny skies. You all know this. We all know this. We're humans. We've been in some thunderclouds before. We've been in some dark storms. And it doesn't look good when you're inside there. And when you're inside one of those dark storms, it makes it all the harder to do those basic, simple things, to really pay attention to how you're spending your time and what your energy level is and what's your attitude. It makes it hard to have a good attitude. It makes you stop eating well. You don't sleep well. You sometimes stop socializing if you check out. You don't exercise. You're tired. You eat like crap. You don't socialize. You isolate. All of those things. And then you say, well, so what does it matter if I'm paying attention to this stuff? If I'm in this storm cloud, I can't do all those things. Well, now you're paying attention. As soon as you notice those things, if you notice that foundation starting to just develop a couple of cracks, you could get back on the flight path. You know the direction now to get you back into the sunny skies. You're still in a dark cloud sometimes. Sometimes life sucks. Sometimes lots of bad things are going on. And when you're in that storm cloud, you can't even see the sunny skies. You don't know which way is the shortest way to get there. No idea. You don't know when this is going to end. But if you follow those basic fundamentals, eat well, sleep well, socialize, exercise, nurture some creativity and excellence, you have just started your way to the shortest path to the sunny skies. And here's the most important thing about socializing. When you're reaching out, you're communicating with somebody who is not in that cloud with you. They're not in that storm cloud. They're in maybe partly cloudy skies. They've got problems too. We all have problems. But at least they can communicate with you and say, hey, the sunny skies are over here. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be a dark and stormy cloud forever. And I came across one of the things I posted in my LinkedIn account was something, an article that I came across that I thought kind of resonated with this idea of enjoying your problems. And this was an article by Chelsea Harvey Garner. And it made me think about, hey, we're all in turbulent skies or clouds sometimes. This is life. This is human life. What if we could learn to enjoy those problems? Now, I'm not saying if you're in that dark thunderstorm with extreme turbulence and hail and everything's gone to hell that you're going to enjoy that. but everybody's got problems. How can you learn to enjoy those problems? And in her words, I'm just going to read you some of her basic tips, and these are some of the things that I hope you all can walk away from this with. As if you don't remember Team Essence and how to fly towards those sunny skies, maybe you'll remember some of the things that Chelsea said about enjoying your problems. So number one, she said, if you can learn to enjoy your problems, that's enlightenment. Regardless of whether other people get your problems, whether they understand them or not, you have to get them. Try to accept your life, as absurd as it may be, and find some joy in it. Because there is joy in it. There's sunny skies out there. There still is, I guarantee it. There's hobbies and things that you can get into. Sunny skies are out there. Number two, she says, don't judge yourself. It's one thing to have problems, but it's another to blame yourself for having them. Yet that's what many of us do. We tell ourselves or she suggests, tell yourself the opposite. Don't blame yourself for problems. Feel proud. Feel proud of your problems. How about that? Number three, tell your story. Describing in detail what you've survived can empower and energize you. It can help you recognize what you're capable of. And number four, move your body. Sounds familiar, right? Eat well, sleep well, socialize, exercise. In moments of extreme suffering, many ancient traditions suggest movement. Dance until you stop thinking about the fact that you're dancing. Not sure how? Start with a tiny movement and repeat it for an hour. Sounds ridiculous. We're all ridiculous. Just accept it. Number five, make something. You don't have to make anything brilliant. You don't ever have to show it to anyone. It's like telling your story. The act of creative expression is transformative, just in itself. Number six, cry for help, Chelsea says. Vulnerability creates an opening for genuine connection. Embracing the full spectrum of feeling makes you emotionally available, and others can feel the depth of your presence. Number seven, pray in your own way. You don't have to be religious to pray. Chelsea sees prayer as any act that reminds you of your connection to your chosen community, the non-human world, and the universe as a whole. And don't underestimate how much it can shift your perspective and help you feel less alone. Number eight, and this is her last one, redefine happiness. True wellness is less about avoiding struggle, and it's more about appreciating the full spectrum of experience, from moments of awe and exhilaration and even terror. Just learning to appreciate the full spectrum of life and what it brings to you. So hopefully these ideas give you some nuggets to take with you. Put yourself on the flight path to embrace the spirit of resilient leadership. And may our speakers today really inspire you to rise above adversity and strive for greatness. Together, we can weather any storm and emerge stronger, wiser than ever before. Now I'd like to welcome up next, or you guys might do that for me, but our next guest is going to be Chief Tauberman. So really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your attention. Thanks.
Thank you, General Geraghty. At this time, we'll take a quick technical break. Here is our first suggested discussion topic while we go on our first break. What is a motto or mantra you see to help you stay resilient in tough times? Turn to your neighbor and have a discussion. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Break.
Okay. I didn't realize. I know, right? He just takes off that.